You're listening to Heather's Deux Vegas. Join your go-to gal for all things celebrity gossip, reality TV reviews, fashion tips, and of course, all of the inside scoop on Sin City.
Hello, babes. Welcome back to Heather's Deux Vegas, the only podcast where the tea is piping, the sequins are shining, and Las Vegas is basically just my sparkly little playground. I am your host, Heather Ashley, fresh, and I mean fresh off the BravoCon weekend. And babes, I'm ready to spill the juice, the gossip, the chaos, the glitter, the literal rain of it all. You heard me. So grab your iced latte, your champs, or whatever's closest, because we're diving in to a full BravoCon ride, one drama-filled detail at a time. All right, babes. First things first, BravoCon. If you haven't been, it's a 3-day, Friday through Sunday marathon of Bravo-obsessed glory. Yes. Now, 2 years ago, I went for all 3 days. Yes, 3 days. I had wristbands, sore feet, the emotional trauma, all of it. This year, your girl said, no, ma'am. I choose self-care, so I did the 1-day experience. I opted for Friday. Now, they do not give you the schedule, the lineups for each of these days until after you've purchased tickets. Now, if you're purchasing them right as they're going on sale, which I did, because I didn't want to risk the aftermath or whether there are tickets. I don't suggest selling them like aftermarket. I just don't know how trustworthy that works. I mean, unless you actually know somebody personally who's reselling their tickets. But that's just me. All right. So that's the skinny on that part. Okay. So basically, buy your ticket and you just pray that St. Andy Cohen for the best is going to roll the dice and just do you good, like Vegas style, right? Like bet it all on blonde, as Erica Jane says, can't go wrong, right? That's my motto. Okay, let's talk some logistics because I'm going to get into like all kinds of nitty gritty. Don't tune out because I have a lot of great little tips and things, tips, tricks, hacks, not only for the out-of-towners, but for our Vegas and Nevada locals. Yeah. And look, I got the insides. I got the inside and I'm going to give it all to you because you're my babes. All right. Yeah, I'm going to save you time and I'm going to save the toes, the tootsies. All right, BravoCon. So it's held at the Caesars Forum Convention Center, which is literally behind the Link. Okay. Yeah. The big Ferris wheel. Now I'm telling you, I stayed at Link for the first time I went to BravoCon 2 years ago. Is it the Four Seasons? No. Is it convenient? Absolutely. And it was affordable. I didn't look into room rates this year, but all things considered, when you think of time, Lyft rides, taxis, what have you, potentially parking fees, if you are, not a Vegas local and you're parking a car nearby, was totally well worth it. Now, this time around, I drove, and I knew from parking at the hotel 2 years ago to stay there that there is ample parking, not only at the Link Hotel, but next door, the Harrah's Garage. Tons and tons of parking. And all you have to do is just hop right across the street, and there you are. So if you're staying across the street at Caesars, you're staying down at Mandalay, what have you, you are then taking a car, or if you're live in town, potentially you're taking a Lyft. And then you're having to deal with all the traffic down there. And then, of course, that expense of the car. Okay. The rain was about to bust on Friday, but it held back. It held back until Saturday. Saturday was not so fun. And this is not because I was there, but because I knew better than to, park far away, take a Lyft and not know where the rideshare pickup is. So all these people who were half blocks away from their hotel. That must have been a disaster because it poured like Vegas has never seen it. We probably got like a record amount of rain on that day. So yeah, that was disastrous for those folks. And then of course too, you got to remember at the Link, and Harrah's. So these are all under the Caesars Entertainment umbrella. Okay, we basically have like two biggies. We've got the MGM properties, we've got the Caesars Harrah's Entertainment, and then basically like Wynn's kind of, a little bit of an offshoot, and then Resorts World. Now, these properties they offer at least 3 free hours of parking for Nevada residents. When you take your parking ticket and you put it in the machine when you leave, there is on the machine a place for you to put the back of your driver's license. It scans the barcode on the back of your license, and voila, the gates open, the pearly gates of free parking open up, and you're out of there. Now, I did stumble upon by accident kind of a little hack. All right, I'm jumping ahead, but I just want to drive this free parking point all the way home, all the way into the garage. When I was leaving on Friday, I knew I was there for more than 3 hours, and it didn't specify. MGM is 3 hours. Harrah's, Caesars Harrah's, they didn't specify. It said free parking Nevada residents. So I was putting my ID into the machine to scan, and nothing was happening. It kept telling me I owed $25. Kept over and over. This is what you do, babes. Okay, this is a gold. Put this, file it away. You hit the call button. The attendant comes on real quick, and you just say, hey, I put in my parking ticket, and I have my Nevada ID. I'm trying to scan it, but it doesn't seem to be scanning it correctly. What do? Boom. They open the pearly gates of free parking, and I'm out of there. So, you ever have a problem? I'm not saying to cheat the system. I'm just letting you know what my experience was, and that once in a while, this comes in handy. I mean, they took me for $10 on a Diet Pepsi. They took me for $20 on a small bottle of water and a bag of barbecue chips. Could you give a girl 6 hours of free parking? I think so. Pay my taxes. Okay, let's move along here. Move along. Now let's get back. All right. I arrived there. I knew not to get there too early. First of all, I'm a fan. I'm not a fanatic. Big difference. Okay. So they opened the doors. I want to say it was like 9:30. I think even for VIP, you do get in an hour earlier. So I would definitely say, and I regret it. I said I was going to do this then when I go to BravoCon, and I will definitely go again. Even if I go one day, I'm going to buy the VIP pass. I absolutely am. I'm kicking myself. I don't know why I didn't do it this year. But at any rate, if you're GA, which most of the attendees are GAs, plan on waiting blocks and blocks and blocks in line just to walk right back to the very place you first started. Now, I knew better than this. I saw there was still a giant line because I did this once before. What did I do? Hopped, squat. I sat down and I chilled out and I waited for all these people to get in. Did I miss the first part of the Valley panel? Yes, I did. But guess what? Not only, I'm sure, as you guys know, they're playing all these panels on Peacock. So it's kind of like, why even if you're at BravoCon, instead of killing yourself trying to get into the front of the line at the panel and be right in the front where it's there. I mean, there's thousands of people. It's insane. You can watch all the panels on Peacock, spend your time doing the stuff that you can only do in person, which are the meet and greets, which you only are allowed one a day, and all of the experiential photo ops, and just making yourself available to walk around the convention area. Because if that's all you do is spend your time just cruising around, you're going to see more Bravo Lebs up close and in person than sitting 300 feet at the back of the convention room trying to watch a panel, which, by the way, the screens, they do try to put up some screens to show what's going on the stage. Even the screens, in my opinion, are too small for the size of room that this convention space is. It really is. Or they need to work better on zooming in something, because even with the screens, if they didn't say people's names, sometimes you don't even know who in the heck is this person. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna add in a little bit a little criticism here. Another thing I noticed, I was happy to see this year versus last time, the Bravo fans came much more elevated in their outfits. The time previous, it was like a glorified sports game. It was like just sneakers, jeans, some cute jogging suit. Like they were seriously ready to cop a squat and eat a bag of peanuts. And right out the gate, day one, I must have counted like a dozen sequin outfits just while I was doing a TikTok live. I mean, I was shocked. So, that was fun. It was fun to see people also on day one just have a good time with like their goofy paraphernalia. I have pictures of these girls with their sparkle hat on, like Captain Jason gives out to the crew, where it's like a disco ball helmet. The disco ball helmet, yeah. Girls with just like funny shirts on and matching outfits and different things. So yeah. And what else? Let's see. Right when I walked in, I'm going to say for sure it was bigger and better than last year, which, this is what we expect. They had activations, lounges, DJ area right on the patio before you walked into the building itself. Once you walked into the building, off to one side was kind of like a museum style where they had iconic just props and paraphernalia that has become just iconic from the shows, and photos and different things from all of the franchises. So that was really fun to watch. They did seem to have more of these experiential photo shoot moments. Like, for example, below deck, I had a jet ski you could jump on, you could throw on crew gear. It looks like, you're actually with the crew working, hats, the whole thing. Yeah, it was camp. But everybody loved it. This is a shocker. I'm going to tell you the biggest star of BravoCon, in my opinion, the State Farm guy. Yeah, I mean, the State Farm was a huge sponsor, and all their big sponsors, Tresemme, Clorox, all of the commercials you see on Bravo. So State Farm had a huge setup, and it looked like a Southern Charm themed back patio and garden setup and etc. And they had Jake from State Farm. People were screaming their heads off. It was nuts. He was interviewing the Bravo Lebs. I was shocked. I was really shocked. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's like the second coming of Andy Cohen. I mean, every time he appeared, the crowd just went feral. I was like, sir, are you hosting the reunion or insuring my boat? What is happening? What is happening, Jake from State Farm? He looks just like how he looks on TV, though, I will say. A little shorter. He was a little shorter than I would have expected. But I was doing my TikTok walkthrough, just getting the lay of the land. And then I'm going to tell you who I ran into all the way while I was doing this TikTok live. So if any of you were jumped on and saw this, I'm going to give you a little overview in case you missed it. I was pointing them out. So first we saw Lindsay Hubbard from Summer House. So she was being escorted through the hall wearing this gold dress that basically said, "I came to conquer," stunning, radiant goddess. Then we spotted Heather Dubrow. Yes, ma'am. The diamond Miss Champs Dubrow herself, Heather Gay, and Terry Dubrow. They were all in one of the photo experiences together. It looked like they were filming something. Abe Leachy, aka Abe the Babe, Aaron's husband from Roni, he was passing out. They have that mezcal tequila line. And so he actually had a tray of little tequila samples that he was giving out. And he's a cutie in person. Yeah, I think he holds the Abe the Babe title well. You guys, babes. My arch nemesis, Tamra Judge, she was filming a promo with Heather Dubrow in the back of this pink car. I wish I remember what car brand this was, because it was the coolest dang car I've ever seen. Jesse Solomon, we ran into him. Sutton Strack, she was holding down her booth. We saw Craig Conover multiple times. He was everywhere. He was working hard. Backing up a little bit, the line getting in, like I mentioned, was bananas. And they really need to work faster getting this line in to BravoCon, because I know all those people missed the Valley panel. But what they do is they actually quickly replay the panel in the little outdoor restaurant. So I actually later in the day, I got to catch that by watching the replay while I was chilling out. And that panel, I was so mad because it was hosted, moderated by Danny Pellegrino, one of my favorite Bravo podcasters. I was salty, like Vanderpump Rules season 2 salty about that one. And I also wish that I had run into Danny. I never did, but I did meet him 2 years ago. But at any rate, I did catch the Potomac ladies panel, and there was this one attendee question. This girl asked kind of a shady question, and it was being answered. And Giselle was like, "What's that hoe's name?" Everybody laughed. I mean, she really fired back on that. So yeah, that's probably one of the most entertaining parts of these panels, is when at the end they allow audience members to come up and ask questions, because you just do not know what is coming out of some of these people's mouths. So yeah, that's always entertaining. The dining tent. Okay, let's talk about that. So outside they have this huge dining tent with several different types of food options. But, because the True Housewife villain isn't a person, it's food service delays. I mean, the lines were so long that literally I skipped eating so that I could just rest my feet for a little bit and watch the replay of the Valley. Yeah. And so, but to good on Bravo, they did add something new. I did not see this last time, so I think it's a new ad. They added a grab and go area with sandwiches and salads that was inside near the gold stage, I believe it was. Yeah. But like I mentioned, a Diet Pepsi was $10. So after I recovered from all that emotional damage, I did realize that this grab and go area was right next to a stage. Ariana Maddox, she was doing an interview right there, and that was totally entertaining. And actually people just dropped and sat on the floor. So look, I'm not the only one. Everybody needed a break at that point. And, it was probably about not even like 1 o'clock in the afternoon at that point. So, and that's just one of the things that you're going to like, that you hear too, that it's so much fun. It's so like visually stimulating, like exciting, and the energy is so great. You're just with like thousands of other excited fans that you are, you're in the moment, but once you're like out of the moment, it is so exhausting, especially, if you're going for more than a day. It's one of the most exhausting things I can remember in a long time. But now, this is why they're giving people 2 years in between BravoCons so that you can rest up and recover. Oh gosh, door closed. I just jumped. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to drop in a quick video here, guys. This was from the Gold Stage for my YouTube babes. So you could see, kind of me boots on the ground. I promised I was going to try to get some video of me there. I know my face is like really close to the camera, but the music's so loud in there. The space is so huge. I did do another video from the bottom of the Bravo escalators. The audio is kind of trash, so I'll just have pictures of that on the social. But at any rate, I'm going to throw that video in here, and then I'll come back. I got more to cover, and I got to go to Countess Luann de Lesseps' Countess Cabaret. So stay tuned for that. Hello, babes. It's me, Heather Ashley, and here I am at BravoCon. As I promised, I was going to try to get some actual video footage of me here. Behind me is the stage. You can see the BravoCon in gold. This is what they call the BravoCon, the gold stage. We just had Andy Cohen up there with Jeff Lewis, and they were discussing just all kinds of questions from the viewers. The panel was called Ask Andy. And he fielded a lot of interesting questions. One of the fun parts about BravoCon, especially as the day gets later, the questions that people ask It's just so entertaining because people start drinking and they get real loose. And definitely, I would have filmed it for you, but it's kind of dark in here, and it just wouldn't have made sense. But take my word for it, people don't hold back, and it's not just with Andy. With the Housewives, with all the other shows. Hopefully you can hear me. The music is a little loud. I'm blasting a little Taylor Swift here, but I'm going to try to catch some of the other areas out here at BravoCon and let you know how it's going. Yeah, so far so good. There's just a mass amount of people here, thousands and thousands of Bravo fans. I went to BravoCon 2 years ago here in Vegas. And this year it's even bigger and better. And that's what I expected. That's what we expect from Bravo, right? The activations, they have more interactive things to do. Of course, like the sponsors are out in full force with just fun, interactive things, giveaways, photo ops. And of course, the most fun part is seeing Bravo celebrities in the wild. Yeah, just as you're going to the bathroom, as you're walking from hall to hall, you're seeing Craig, you're seeing Heather Gay, you're seeing Heather Dubrow. Yeah, so many fun folks from the Valley. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be heading over to my photo op with some of the Valley folks. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, make sure you check out the socials as always. For all of the posts yeah, TikTok, Instagram, and of course YouTube at Heather's Deux Vegas. All right, guys, I am off to the next spot, and I will catch you later. Love ya. Hey, babes, we are back. I'm back. So now it was time for my designated photo op. Like I mentioned, they give each attendee for each day a photo op plus a ticket, a QR code for a friend. So if you're going with a friend who signs up for a different time slot, then you actually get to go to 2 different time slots, kind of, for the price of one. Yeah, which is a fun little trick. I think most people figure that out. But so my photo op was with Jasmine and Zach from the Valley, and they were so lovely, so kind, so cute. I thank them for their service in making the Valley cool, because honestly, they deserve it. That's a heavy lift. I knew one day it was going to be cool, but we have to get a TV show to prove it. So here we are. Now, next to me, so the way they have this set up is, they got the backdrops, kind of like the one I have here behind me, big step and repeat wall. And they have 2 or more Bravo Lebs assigned to these photo ops. So there's like 4 or 5 lines. So the one next to me was Ariana Bierman and Riley from Next Gen and NYC. On the other side of me was Craig Conover from Southern Charm and Stephen McBee Jr. from the McBee Dynasty. Then we had Tom Schwartz, Tom Sandoval, and then at the very end was Janet and Brittany from the Valley. And I kind of thought, maybe I should have taken the picture of Janet and Brittany. I've not been a huge fan of Janet's, and Brittany I'm kind of like so I just wanted with someone from the Valley, really. Although I think Kristen would have been more iconic, but she was not ever one of my options. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's chaos. It's great lighting. They have staff people there that take your photos, do video. They do a really good job with that. So by now it was late afternoon. The rain, was like it was going to start rolling in, and I had a hot date with a countess named Luann. So yeah, so I needed to do a wardrobe change and get refreshed for that, of course. And yeah, so let's get into the Countess Cabaret show. First, I've heard so many Bravo podcasters rave about this show over the years that she's been doing this show. She's got quite a few shows under her belt. So I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be a sleigh. High expectations. Give me Bravo meets Broadway meets Bougie. And mind you, I went to Erica Jane's Bet It All on Blonde show, which kills. I don't care what she sold tickets for. It's fabulous and highly entertaining and so well done. And she does such a great job. So we arrive, massive line. It's packed. I mean, I'll hand it to her. She can sell the room. Above, the mezzanine level was packed. Carol Radswell was in the crowd supporting her girl, which I thought was cool. Lights go down. Luann comes out quickly. Love the promptness, but babes, I'm going to be honest, because that's what I do here. I was not impressed, not with the singing, not with the choreography, the level of talent. And everyone has said that she's so talented, funny, glamorous. And she was engaging with the audience. She did put in the effort, but the performance itself, it was not giving Countess excellence at all. Also, I mean, there were no backup dancers. She had a couple people for the band, but, you know, justice for backup dancers, honestly. I thought there'd be at least somebody else to throw off the balance, to do something. And then, so what she does is she'll do a couple songs, she'll pause for audience participation. She did like some cute little trivia, clips from Roni, funny stories that everybody enjoyed. But then it got even worse. She had an intermission, and nothing kills a vibe like an intermission. I was ready to leave right then and there, but we stayed a little longer, we pushed through, and in the words of Tom Sandoval, we dipped early. Yeah. So if that, you know, sums it up for you, yeah. A for effort, Countess. That takes a lot to get out there and do that kind of a show for sure. But yeah, I mean, that was, you know, my BravoCon Deux Vegas recap. You know, we had Little Rain, Sequins, Soda, Chaos, Countess confusion. I mean, through it all, I had all of you guys in mind. And I have a quick programming note. There will be no new episode next week for the Thanksgiving holiday. So enjoy your turkey stuffing and your family tea, because I know someone at the table is given Bravo level drama. That's usually how the holidays work, right? Well, until next time, you guys stay fabulous, stay shady, and stay sparkly. Love you. Bye.
This was a blast. Be sure to follow Heather Ashley on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Heather's Deux Vegas. Share the pod with a friend, and don't forget to rate and review.